go for another edition of Jofo in the Ring. And yes, my name is Frank Jofo, and we have a special guest. We have Victor Perry of the Wrestling Club. What's going on, brother?
What's up? How are you doing?
Very good. Yourself?
Great.
So if our listeners don't know who this man is, this man has the best, actually the number one faction in wrestling today, the Wrestling Club out of New York. And Victor, could you tell us how the Wrestling Club got started?
Yes. First, thank you. That's a compliment, and that's such an honor to hear. But the club got started literally randomly. It was not a plan. It was not something that I had on my bingo card to do as a teacher. I already do so much as a teacher in the classroom. It just organically happened. I'm a wrestling fan. And just one day things aligned where I was on my phone at one point and a kid overheard me speaking about Bianca Belair and meeting her, like going to have the opportunity to meet her. And the kid and I just bonded over it. And I was like, I'm gonna take you to meet I'm gonna take you to meet Bianca. And so I called his mom and she was like, yes, that's fine. And so we met Bianca and it was great. And then we won tickets to Monday Night Raw the same day. Wow. And so we went to Monday Night Raw together and it was just incredible. It was an incredible experience. And then the next day, the Wrestling Club was born. Basically, he went and bragged to all his friends, like, this is what I got to do. And the other kids were just, I wish I could do that. And I thought, well, I wish I could take all of you. And I was like, if we created a club, would you join? And they were like, yeah. And so 5 kids joined. And it started out small. We would just meet during lunch and recess. And before I knew it, word got around into the 6th grade and kids started coming. And then it just became a huge club. We had last year, we ended off with like 35 kids. Wow. But this year we have we doubled it. We're about 65, close to doubling it. Yeah.
Okay. Is there going to be a limit? Because if I was a kid at that age, and when I grew up, there was no internet, there was no dirt sheets, there was no rumor mill. So our rumor mill was watching Monday Night Raw, going to bed, running to school, and talking to our friends about what happened on Monday Night Raw. Now times have changed. Now the Wrestling Club is there. So now all these kids must be excited just to talk wrestling every single day. I can imagine they're talking wrestling during their classes and everything. But is this program, like you said, is it just during recess? Is it after school? What's the story?
Yeah, so it started during lunch and recess, and then I got approved to run it after school.
Okay.
But I was told that I could only have 15 kids in the after school program. So I was like, that's not cool. So I teach 15 kids. Well, now I have a few more than 15. I have about like 23, but I teach about 23 kids after school. And that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. And then also on Monday, Wednesday, Friday during lunch and recess, I teach about maybe 35 kids.
Okay.
During lunch and recess. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, I teach an all girls class. And it's about 30 girls, just about.
Okay. So besides the wrestling, are you what else do you do at the school on top of the wrestling?
Oh, I teach as well. I teach 4 classes of English language arts, so reading and writing. And so like I'm doing practically 7 classes a week.
You're one of the busiest men in professional wrestling right now, if I could say that.
And I do music.
And you do music as well. Any aspirations of maybe doing an entrance music for somebody, maybe, or is that in the works?
That's a goal. I've put it into the universe. I would love to sing someone's theme song, so I've put it into the universe, and it'll come back to me.
Well, having you on the show now, is there somebody in particular that you would love to sing his or her entrance?
Yeah, I have
Maybe at a
several.
Royal Rumble, maybe at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. Who is it? Who is it? Tell
Oh
us.
goodness. Oh gosh. I'm the biggest Carmelo Hayes fan, so
Oh wow.
I'd love to do a theme for him, but his theme is already great. I love Sasha Banks, but her theme is already great. So it's hard. Seth Rollins, but you can't replace Seth's theme.
You know
So
what? You know what? I don't even think he has to put the music on anymore. People were singing it,
exactly,
and we
exactly.
had the kid that was with you on the video serenading him when he was coming out, and just to see the kids freaking out like that gave me goosebumps. That made me so happy. How did the whole going to the event in Brooklyn come about?
So I've taken kids to shows before. We've never been to the Barclays. This is our first time as a
Okay.
group. We've been to the Madison Square Garden twice.
Oh wow.
And then I've taken a few kids to an indie show. So, and it's, the school is not far from Barclays. So I was like, this is perfect. Like I can take more kids and I don't have to worry about traveling because it's right
Yeah.
here that far. So we took 21 kids. It was very ambitious. But I want to take 40 next time. But it was just one of those things, we had a long day. We met at 3:30 at the school. Then we traveled together in lifts, got to the Barclays, went and got food. That took forever. And then we waited in line and then we went. And this is the thing about kids that I don't think people get and understand. Because even I still to this day am like, how? So we just fed the kids. We bought them burgers and they had milkshakes and they had sodas and fries. You'd be full. We waited in line for maybe 30 minutes, maybe. Go inside and check in. I want snacks. And I'm like, we just ate. And I do this every time I take kids out. I'm like, I'm going to fatten you up so we don't have to spend time in the lines. We can sit and wait in the arena and watch the show. Now, every time kids eat, they eat. Kids eat, and they're expensive. Oh my goodness. And so, oh man, it was just so much fun. Just being there. And I've seen them in the classroom and I've seen them react and I've seen them like have fun, but I've never seen it to this magnitude. Like we had kids who were so loud, people in the I could tell they were kind of getting a little annoyed, but I didn't care. I'm like, they're my babies. They're gonna express themselves. They've never been to this before.
Enjoy it, right? Because you know what, you never know. One day maybe it'll be gone. One day, maybe but you have to enjoy it for today. And it seemed like you had such a good time with the kids. There was that one video where you guys were walking in and everybody's just freaking out. I could honestly, like I said, if I was in that age group, I would run to this wrestling club right away. What was your favorite part of Monday Night Raw with the kids?
So I have a few, if you don't mind.
Go for it. The floor is yours.
My first was with seeing Carmelo Hayes before Raw. It was a huge surprise. That was not something I expected to see at all. We were actually in line getting snacks. And I had heard his music and I was like, I looked over at one of my kids because we're fans, or there's some of them like fans like me. I said, is that Carl? I was like, Mello? They're like, Mello. I was like, Mello! And so we just ran, we just took off, ran to our seats to watch him wrestle. So that set the tone for the night.
Yeah.
I also love Seth Rollins. And seeing him win a championship was just awesome. And that was my first time, and then also my kids' first time seeing a person become champion. We've never seen. So that feeling felt incredible. And then Brock Lesnar. There's a clip I uploaded of one of the kids just going mayhem. That was a shock. And then of course Bianca Belair, but she only was there for a small moment. But the kids were mad. They did not want to see her beat up. But probably the highlight of the night was at the end when we left. We crossed the street, and we waited at Shake Shack, and we're waiting on our lifts. And so I was just, a little emotional. I was just like, oh my God, guys, like that type of thing. Like, we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it, like, I'm
Yeah.
proud of you. I'm glad we could have this experience. And then the kids, while I'm speaking, they're like pointing. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, why are they doing that? Like, that's kind of rude. Like, I'm having a moment here when you're like pointing. So I finally finished. I was like, okay, guys, let's go ahead and get in our list. They're like, no, Mr. Perry, look. So there's a little boy standing in our group. And I don't know him. I don't teach him. He doesn't go to our school. And I'm like, how did you get over here? And so
what's
I was
going
like,
on here?
I was like, where's your parents? Like, what are you doing? And so he was like, he's right there. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, how was your night? Like, did you enjoy it? He went on, he was telling me about how much he enjoyed it. And so I asked him, I said, do you know who we are, or like who I am? You're Mr. Perry. And I was just like, oh, this is so sweet. He
Wow.
saw us, like he saw our group, and he wanted to be a part of the group.
Wow.
And he fit right in. We actually, let me see. I have a picture. He begged to take a selfie. And it really just brought it on home for me of how special and how important this club is.
Wow. Look at that.
So
Unbelievable.
it just really, that moment for me made it real, because I see my kids and they have the luxury and the privilege to be a part of the wrestling club, but other kids don't. They're not in other schools. And so when I hear other adults tell me, like, I wish I had this in school, every time I hear it, it means something more each time. And then to see this little kid who saw the club and just didn't care that we were strangers, didn't care that I was a stranger, just ran into our circle.
Wow.
Literally, we were in a circle, and he ran into our circle and just fitted in. And that's how I feel like the online community is for the club right now. It's like everyone's so supportive and showing their love and donating and sending, oh my goodness, people sending money, donating money, sending snacks, sending toys, sending signed memorabilia, things that meant something to them.
Yeah.
They're sending it and giving it to the club, and it means the world. Like, I can't say thank you enough.
I also saw it's so incredible that I am guaranteeing you that around the United States for sure, people know who you are, and people in elementary schools and high schools are saying, holy shit, I think we could pull something off like this too. Has anyone come up to you to maybe branch out to another school, maybe in the Brooklyn area in New York, or maybe somewhere in Texas or something? I am sure there's going to be people that are going to be jumping on this right now. As people talk to you about this, to branch out to other schools too?
Yeah. Someone posted today that they tried it out in their class, and I thought it was so cool. They tagged me and was like, we watched the Extreme Rules match that we watched yesterday. Like, we did that, and she was like, it didn't go as well as I planned, but the start. And that's literally what it is. Mine did not go anywhere near. Like, when I first showed a match, the kids were dead silent. They were not reacting. They were not jumping out of their seats and cheering. That takes time, because kids have to know that it's a safe space to express, and so I wish that person well. Someone else had mentioned to me that they want to join I guess it's the PTA, at their kids' school, and they want to like support and encourage teachers to start a wrestling club. And so, like, when I hear things like that, it just makes me because it's like, yes, do it, because you don't know what kid needs that safe space or needs just this type of activity or interest that can put them on the right track. I'm a writing teacher. I teach reading and writing, and so I know how beneficial it is to learn these things, because you can make this your reality. You could become a show writer or a creative writer, or these things that you love. And so today we practice writing promos. And it was just fun seeing the kids like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, just write from your heart. Like, there's no right or wrong answer here.
Exactly.
Write from your heart. And so then we practice and we perform the promos, and they're gonna be good. They're gonna be dope. You're gonna be seeing videos soon. But I encourage every teacher, if you have it within you, not just a wrestling club, just start a club. That start something that you are interested in, because that is what's going to draw people. I have co-teachers who do not watch wrestling who were chaperones. I have teachers who now want to be chaperones, and they're interested in the product because they see how much I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And kids feel that. And when kids feel that, they can get to know you more.
That's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Honestly, I hope the best for you in the wrestling club. But one last thing before we go, I wanted to say I am a big fan of Keith Lee. And when I saw, and I don't know how you pulled that off, but tell me the how it came to be. Did the kids know before, or what was the story? Did they reach out to you? What was the story with Keith Lee and Swerve showing up at the wrestling club?
So, social media, man, it is
2022, eh?
yeah, it changes lives.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I got in contact with Swerve, and they wanted to come. You know, they were in New York City, and both him and Keith are just incredible human beings. I look up to them in every regard. And they came and we had fun, like genuine fun. Like the kids were they just had fun, you know.
We saw the video.
Yeah. I don't know how else to describe it, but it was for anyone to come to the club, whether it was Sasha Banks or Keith Lee and Swerve or whoever else is coming. It just solidifies for my kids that their dreams are here.
Yeah.
They ain't got to look far. These people are superstars, but they're superstars because they believed in themselves. And I want my kids to feel that way as well.
Is there any of the kids? I'm sure in a wrestling club, everyone wants to be a WWE wrestler. Any ambitions for any of the kids there that want to go to the performance center one day and train?
We definitely have them, but we also have, like I said, kids who want to write.
Oh wow!
And it's my job to push those interests, and so I'm working hard to meet people that can give them inspiration and give them words of wisdom and put them on the right track when they're of age. You know, our kids of today don't realize that, and I want to word this correctly. They don't realize that by just putting themselves out there, that already makes the battle less strenuous. When they put themselves out there and they let people know that, hey, I'm here, people see you and people will gravitate towards that. And I want them to know that, you know, if you want to be a creative writer, we got you. If you want to be a wrestler, like, we got you. Like, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, whatever you want to be, just put it out there and put yourself out there and you're going to be God. And so I want my kids to know, like, share with me what do you want to do in wrestling. Like, I would love that, but it's not just about wrestling. It's about them finding their purpose. I found my purpose. I'm 28 now. And I feel like I've just really found my purpose, and it's teaching. And I love it. And I love being in the classroom.
It really shows that you're really having fun with these kids, and especially that you were a big wrestling fan. And as myself, as a big wrestling fan, maybe I have one match in mind. Maybe you haven't watched it with the kids yet, but it's one of my favorite matches. Is Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10. It's one of my favorite matches. I think you've watched Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Yes.
I need to put that on the list. I will definitely show them that. I need to show them the storyline behind it too, because you know they're family, they're brothers. But yeah, we've seen a few older matches, and they like them. It's just getting them into them. You know, like it's different. But they like him. We watched the infamous. That's the correct word. It was infamous. Montreal Screwjob.
I
And
am from Montreal.
oh goodness, wow.
Yeah. I had a
So
couple of friends that were there, and they still don't even know what the hell's going on. So it's all up in the air for now. Until Bret Hart comes out and says otherwise, I think he got screwed. But what do you want to do?
that's cool. You're from Montreal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely show them. I have a list of. Oh my gosh, I have like 500 recommendations. So I'm just, and some of them I hadn't even. Most of them I hadn't seen. So like it's like I'm going through it, just looking to see like, okay, will this benefit my kids? Will they get it? And so like, yeah, I'll put that on the list.
A dream match for everybody that everyone's talking about: the Tribal Chief versus the People's Champ. I'm sure some of the kids are some Roman Reigns fans. I'm sure some of them are Rock fans. Who do your ties lie with? Roman Reigns or The Rock? And would you like to see this match one day at WrestleMania?
I hope it's at WrestleMania. Hollywood will be there, so that would be great. They're both fantastic. I can't pick.
You know what? I'm going to go with Roman Reigns because him from start to finish, he has been the best wrestler in the world this year. All shows it. He cannot have a bad match. Entertaining as hell, especially with Sami Zayn and the Usos and the Bloodline. Is there any ambition for you? Because you seem like you're very well spoken. Maybe one day becoming a wrestling manager for a wrestler.
I thought about it. I have thought about that. If it comes to me, I'll do it. I do it in a heartbeat. But that has to align with my purpose, which is teaching.
Yeah.
And so I would, if they were like, we want you to be, if they were like, we want you to talk and manage Carmelo Hayes, I'd be like, duh. It just has to make sense. It just has to really make sense for me. And never say never. So yeah, I've thought about it. I have.
As we're winding down here, I want to let you have the floor, Victor, and tell everybody where they could find you on social media. And I know that you have some T-shirts that you guys are going to be selling there too, as well. So you could tell everybody where to find those if they want to support the wrestling club.
Yes. So Twitter is where you find all my wrestling stuff. Wallflower Perry. Yeah, Wallflower Perry. And we have a TikTok where you can follow us, The Wrestling Club, literally, The Wrestling Club on TikTok. And then the T-shirts and hoodies, just follow my Twitter. We haven't officially launched them yet. We're still working on them. But they're coming very soon. And I hope you guys support. We also have a GoFundMe. Even though we've reached our goal, you never can stop donating because it helps us with shows. Like I'm trying to take kids to AEW in November, and I want to take kids to the Madison Square Garden show for Christmas. I didn't know anything about it. People told me about it. And so if you can donate, all that just goes to that as well, because I want to give my kids, hopefully one day, front row experience. I just can't imagine what that looks like. But I want to give them. Actually, no. Let me take that back.
Hey, they're going to be probably watching this. So,
oh my goodness. I don't think. Yeah, no, my kid. List. Oh no, definitely not. Them kids get vocal. They will be all over the. Yeah, no. Let me tell you something. Those kids get loud, and they don't know how to They haven't yet learned when someone's speaking on the promo.
Yeah.
They're just bad mouthing a person. I'm like, you can't do that. So actually, take that back. Maybe not front row.
Maybe middle row there. A couple rows up there, so they won't hear us if we scream.
Yeah. Oh my God! I can imagine if we went to the show on Monday and we were front row and they were. Oh my God! Y'all would have been. They would have become a meme. Like the camera wouldn't know what to do with them. They were just because they're just so free, and they do things that you thinking you would do in your head and react, but they don't think. They're just like, ah! So, yeah, I take
They're
that.
kids. They're kids. What do you want
Yes.
to do, right? If I could go back in time to be a kid again, trust me, I would right away. Right
Facts.
away.
Facts. I'll be right there with you.
So before we go, I know that the bump showcased you guys. How exciting was that to be shown on WWE TV? The bump.
Yo, man, what? Insane, speechless. I was teaching and I had to I was like, wait, what? People were sending me messages and they were like, "You're on the bump," and I'm like, what? How? What? This week just won't stop getting better. It started on Friday. Last Friday, someone had a poster on SmackDown saying "Fund the Wrestling Club," and then I wake up the next morning and we've met our goal, and then we go to Monday Night Raw, and then we have such an amazing time, and then Seth Rollins and Bianca tweets us and tweets the kids, and then we're on the bump. What? It's crazy, absolutely, but it's an honor. And I'm gracious and I'm thankful for it. Any recognition that we can get for my children makes a difference. And to see them react the way that they did, I was like, the school day was done. And I was like, I went to my friends. I was like, can I get my kids just for a few minutes? They're like, why? I got to show them something important. I got to get this reaction. I got to get this. And so I put them in the room. They're already like, why are we here? It's time to go. And I was like, just watch this video. Relax. And we put the video on. They didn't know what it was. I mean, they know about the bump because we've watched clips from it, but they didn't know why I was showing it.
Other big news that came out Monday, though. Oh, yes. Big news on Monday Night Raw. Oh, big news. This is my favorite story.
And then, when they said the wrestling club, they just went bananas.
Absolute favorite story of the week. The wrestling club.
And I was freaking out because I was like, the door is open. They're loud. Why are they I'm going to get talked to. But what can I say? They deserve it. They deserve the world. And if I can help give them that, then I've done my job as an educator.
Well, they deserve it all. And you know what? I want to thank you. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to thank you out there for doing what you're doing for these kids, for the community, the school, and professional wrestling as well. And maybe one day, like you said, if people could, if anyone out there wants to support the wrestling club, check them out on Twitter, check out their GoFundMe, buy a t-shirt, buy a sweatshirt. Anything helps to help these kids, and especially Victor over here that's doing a great job with these kids. I want to say hi to all of them if they're watching. I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Victor, it's a pleasure and honor. Hope to have you on once again after the next event that you're at, and the many more. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You are one in a million, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. And remember, wrestling is life.
So, Jofo, I'm a gargle a shot for Kurt Hennig, everybody, before we go.
Oh, no.
Jofo, thank you guys.